Jacob Bachman, do the 49ers have the easiest schedule in the league? They don't play any top 5 quarterbacks. This will be an easy 10-plus win schedule for these guys. Would love to hear your take. Look, this gets back to the schedule rotation. The teams of the NFC West this year play all 4 teams of the AFC South and all 4 teams of the NFC South. That's 8 out of 17 games. Winnable, 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 winnable. Now, I'm not saying that 49ers are going to go 8-0, but they may be favored in all 8 of those games right now. I mean, the Texans and the Bucs, I don't know, but if the 49ers are healthy, they should be able to win those 8 games. That's almost half your schedule. And because the 49ers finished in last place in the division last year, they get, of the 3 games that are tied to where you finished in your division, they get the best draw. And they've got the Cardinals twice, the Seahawks twice, and the Rams twice. So I'd say that the Rams are the toughest team on their schedule, and they know the Rams as well as anyone. You know, I'd been saying the Rams could end up being the number 1 seed in the NFC thanks to this schedule rotation. You can make the case the 49ers could be the number 1 seed because they can fatten up on a favorable schedule like the teams of the NFC North did last year when you had the Lions, the Vikings, and the Packers all in the playoffs. So, yes, I think the 49ers, if they can stay healthy, if they can get Christian McCaffrey to turn back the clock, if they can replace Deebo Samuel, if they can replace the guys they lost on defense like Hufanga and Greenlaw, they could be very good. Not just good, they could be very good. They could be right back in the mix for another Super Bowl berth and maybe a Super Bowl victory. Jarius Norwood, why aren't state taxes addressed in salary cap negotiations? It seems like a seriously uneven playing field, which potentially provides teams like Vegas and Miami an advantage in free agency. But you know what? And I thought of this when there was a conversation during the NHL playoffs about Florida teams having an edge. Gary Bettman got into it with an analyst. Gary Bettman said it's a ridiculous argument. There's nothing you can do. You can't factor in taxes in determining salary cap. That's just a function of the state where the team is. And to the extent that state taxes in a salary capped era are relevant, I mean, let's go back to 93 when the salary cap started. Okay, the Cowboys have won 2 Super Bowls. Texas team, no income tax. Washington, Seattle, they won 1. The Buccaneers have won 2. That's 5 in more than 30 years. That's it. Of the teams winning a Super Bowl without state income tax. So I think it's statistically insignificant. I don't think they're going to do anything about it. Now, if all of a sudden all the Florida teams are winning the Super Bowl every year and you're hearing the players say, hey, the reason I came here is because of no state income tax, then that's something to pay attention to. I just don't think that's going to happen. Couple more, and then we will wrap it up. Help Fight Cancer 81. Is there a chance the Raiders are finally competitive and will make the playoffs? What are the chances of the Eagles repeating in the Super Bowl? Ooh, 2 for the price of 1. I think the Eagles could win another Super Bowl. That's easy. They're the most talented team in the NFL. The question is, can they continue to win and win and win with the target on their back getting larger and larger and larger? And then when we get to the postseason, can they beat the best teams they come across? And I think they can. Health is going to be a key there. As it relates to the Raiders, yeah, they can make the playoffs. Any team can make the playoffs. And I'm out of the Team X has no chance of making the playoffs because I've said that a couple of times over the last few years and I've been wrong. Bengals in 2021, Texans in 2023, just to name the 2 that I remember. No chance. No chance. Strong chance I'm a dumbass. So I won't say the Raiders have no chance. Is it going to be easy when you've got 3 playoff teams from last year in your division? The Broncos, the Chiefs, and the Chargers? No, it won't be easy. And those teams seem to be better. But I'm a big believer in Pete Carroll. I'm a big believer in Geno Smith. And the Raiders will be overlooked. They can catch some people flat-footed. Yeah, I think they can make the playoffs. Now, again, health is going to be the key, especially if one of the other 3 teams has, a run of bad luck from a health standpoint. It opens the door. Yeah, I think the Raiders could. And I think the Raiders are moving in the right direction. They just probably wish they were moving in a direction other than ongoing membership in the AFC West. Last question. Jacob Demian. How have you managed a work-life balance between law and running a 24/7 news site? Well, first of all, I haven't practiced law since 2009. I had one or two cases that I held on to after we did the deal with NBC that became effective July 1, 2009, 16-year anniversary. It's coming up on Tuesday. Before that, what happened was, I was practicing law on my own, and I was working on PFT whenever I had free time. And once PFT started to make some money, I could be selective in what cases I did and didn't take. And once we did our deal with Sprint in 2006, that was when I really started trying to balance it out so I wasn't so busy practicing law that I couldn't take care of the website. And then when NBC came along and said, we want you to stop practicing law, I was like, oh, well, I want to, that's a deal breaker. And I was happy to get out. So, and now currently I have no work-life balance. My work-life balance is work all the time. And my wife may prefer it that way. Now we do spend some time together and we do have family events, but most days, and I know my priorities are all messed up. I work all the time. I have to work hard to keep up with everything at PFT. And when I'm done for the day with PFT, I shift over to my hobby of 5 years now of creating fiction content, whether it's novels, whether it's screenplays, whether it's just working on those projects, dealing with those issues, outlining future possibilities. There are 10 or more plates that are spinning right now in that hobby that keeps getting bigger and bigger. So I am working for the most part from when I get up to when I go to bed. And I take a little nap in the afternoon, try to work out in the afternoon, try to have dinner with my wife. I think that's important. And we have a family event tonight. We'll have family events from time to time. But for the most part, it's work, and it's work, and it's work some more. But when you enjoy it, it's really not work. And I'm playing beat the clock. I want to write as many books as I can before I drop dead. My theory, and I may have shared this with you before, it's called the infinite monkey theorem. You may have heard of this. The infinite monkey theorem stands for the proposition that if you had an infinite number of monkeys and an infinite number of typewriters, infinity, if you had an infinite number of monkeys and an infinite number of typewriters, and they were banging away on the typewriters, in theory, eventually one of them would write Shakespeare. So my goal is to cobble together as many manuscripts as I can between now and the day I die, and the chances are that if I can get 20, 30, 40, 50, one of them won't suck. That's the goal. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.